Most people know Cox's Bazar for one beach, but that is only the first chapter of its story. Beyond the sand lies a complex world shaped by the sea. And beyond the sand are islands, fishing communities, old traditions, hills, and a history most visitors never see. And beyond the sand are islands, fishing communities, old traditions, hills, and a history most visitors never see. Cox's Bazar is not simply a destination. It is a living coastal district. Here, tourism and everyday life exist side by side, often only a few streets apart. Before tourists' wake up, another economy is already moving. For coastal families, the sea is not scenery. It is work, income, risk, and tradition. Skills like these are passed from one generation to the next, quietly, without ceremony. And for children growing up here, the ocean is part of the landscape they learn to understand from an early age. To understand the district, you have to leave the famous shoreline and follow the roads inland. Cox's Bazar stretches far beyond its tourist center, into villages, fields, hills, rivers, and coastal communities. Geographically, Cox's Bazar sits on Bangladesh's southeastern edge, where land meets the Bay of Bengal. The sea dominates the imagination, but rivers help shape life along the coast as well. Here, water is not a boundary. It is a road. Every rope, net, and boat carries a small piece of the coastal economy.
Fresh catches move quickly from water to market, connecting fishermen with customers far beyond the beach.
The sea also shapes the food people cook at home. In coastal Bangladesh, food can be another way of telling the story of geography. Roads connect these scattered worlds, carrying workers, students, traders, and travelers every day. Near Ramu, another layer of Cox's Bazar begins to appear, a long Buddhist cultural presence. Temples and Buddhist communities form part of the district's cultural landscape. These places remind us that the coast has never belonged to only one tradition. Rakhine heritage adds another voice to the cultural story of this southeastern coast. Culture survives not only in monuments, but also in ordinary skills practiced by ordinary people. Long before modern tourism, this coastline already had layers of movement, trade, migration, and power. During the Mughal period, travelers moving toward Arakan passed through this landscape of hills and sea. Centuries later, the routes changed. The geography remained. The modern name Cox's Bazar is linked to Captain Hiram Cox. His work in the late 18th century became part of the town's later history.
From a market name, the identity of an entire place eventually took shape.
The past here does not always announce itself. Sometimes it survives quietly beside the present. In the district headquarters, Buddhist heritage also remains visible, through historic religious spaces, such as Agmeda Kyang. Across Cox's Bazar, older religious traditions remain woven into the landscape. Then the mainland gives way to an entirely different world, Maheshkhali. On the island, life moves to the rhythm of boats, roads, markets, hills, and tides. Maheshkhali also carries an important Hindu religious heritage, including the hilltop Adinath temple. Sanadia tells a quieter story, one shaped by mudflats, birds, water, and coastal livelihoods. Kutubdia is another coastal world, where the sea is part of almost every decision. Along parts of the coast, sunlight and seawater become another form of livelihood, salt. For workers, these bright fields represent long hours under an unforgiving coastal sun. Education is another part of the district's changing future, with institutions such as Cox's Bazar Government High School serving generations of students. At Cox's Bazar Government College, the next generation studies. This is far from the image of the district as only a tourist destination. For young people here, the challenge is to build a future without losing the place that shaped them. Tourism creates jobs, businesses, transport, food markets, and opportunities far beyond the beach itself.
And every traveler who arrives also becomes part of a much larger local economy.
Of course, the beach still matters. It is the image that introduced Cox's Bazar to the world. But places like Himchari reveal something the classic beach photograph cannot.
Beyond fishing, these shores support diverse livelihoods, like harvesting seaweed from Inani's intertidal rocks.
Step away from the crowds, and the coast becomes quiet again. But popularity comes with a cost, and the coastline faces pressure from people, waste, development, and a changing environment. Along a coast shaped by water, even the ground beneath people's feet is never completely permanent. For communities here, environmental change is not an abstract headline. It is part of everyday life. Protecting these landscapes also means protecting the systems that support people and wildlife. Every evening, the same sea that attracts visitors brings workers home. And when the tourists disappear from the shoreline, ordinary life continues. That may be the most important thing to understand about Cox's Bazar. It is not just a place people visit. It is a place where people belong. Tomorrow, the boats will leave again. The islands, villages, hills, markets, and beaches will continue to move together as one coastal story. Perhaps the real wonder of Cox's Bazar is not how long its beach is, but how many lives meet along it. This is Cox's Bazar, famous around the world for a beach, but remembered for the people and stories beyond it.